If you are a lawn or home service provider, you might purposely or accidentally be in the snow plowing business. I fell into it without knowing it was an option. As I began to grow my lawn care business, my original niche was high-end residential lawns, but I decided to pursue restaurants and small strip malls just to get noticed by homeowners. So for some reason, when the snow and ice fall from the sky, people have a sudden urge to go to the restaurant. So this brings opportunities for snowplow contractors to offer high-end solutions for these property owners. Like I said, the snow brings a lot of foot traffic, old ladies trying to push their walkers up the ramp, and families entering and leaving the place, and even drunks leaving the restaurant. So you're taking on a lot of liability, so make sure you have at least $1 million liability insurance. Second, have a clear contract stating when you will arrive. Is it a 1-inch trigger, 2-inch, 4-inch? Also, make sure your contract shows how timely you want to get paid and that there's an out if they don't abide by that. Otherwise, you could be trapped in servicing them all winter and not getting paid. I ran into that with my second snow contract I ever did. My own contract trapped me in to provide services for them all winter while they didn't pay. And then I ended up having to hire a lawyer 9 months later to get my money. So yeah, I went a full year. I had to pay my employees, insurance, gas, lawyer, and didn't get no money until a year later. That's tough on a small business. So my first snow out with restaurants was a 4-inch snow that hit on a Saturday night, causing drunks issue, as they left this restaurant. Really, it was a bar. I arrived to a nearly full parking lot and did my best to clear paths. And then there was a couple drunks that came out to their lifted truck, and the guy's wife or girlfriend fell as she tried to climb into the tall truck. She is crying and screaming, laying in the snow, and instead of him going to go help her, he runs around videotaping me. And, I see all this. She's laying there in the deep snow crying, and he's just more interested taking pictures. Well, of course, this drunk couple tries to sue the restaurant, and the restaurant uses my insurance as their out, trying to pass it on to me and blame me. I discovered this because a few months later, the insurance company contacted me trying to pin me for her falling between the cars. Luckily, my contract stated the trigger amount, which I arrived early, and that I documented the time, the weather, the circumstances. And the liability was released from me because I did what I was supposed to do, and I was unable to clear those areas between the cars because of all the parked cars. So if you have a good contract and you're ready to document everything, you're ready to snowplow restaurants. So you show up to the property before the snow begins, so you understand the layout, so you know where to push the snow, maybe even to go there to put in property stakes so you don't hit any curbs. So even when you get there, you could even pull up a Google satellite to remind you about the islands that are out there. So let's pull up this first one here. So as you pull up to your restaurant, you see here it's a Burger King. First, notice the entrances. And, these are actually shared entrances. Sometimes you get help from the neighboring restaurants, but, don't count on it. Usually I don't mess with the entrances at first when I get there unless I just can't get into it, because especially if the restaurant's open, I want to get to more important areas, say up front. and that would be the handicap up by the front door, or the drive-through area. You see my number one boxes there. That would be like my first choice of piling snow. Again, you're hoping that no one parked there, because that's your wild card. But that would be my first place to put the snow. So it's always the furthest from the door's entrance, mostly just so they don't lose parking spots, and so there's no melting that could go across their heavy traffic areas, causing slippage, days or weeks after the snow event. So if you show up during store hours, and depending how quick the storm is building, you might only get to what they call bus lanes. So basically, you just push what you can push and run a drive-through, and then get out and go to the next one. I would always take advantage of any openings and clear them. If there's 2 parking places open, I'll push them out. I try not to push into one, with a car on each side. It's just too dangerous. So I just do that because it makes the next time cleaning easier. And then I'd probably address the drive-through. And then ideally, just push it forward, up and over the curb. But if there are cars there, you'd have to push it out, to the east there, if possible, and find a spot. So I would start on this west side and push it to the south here. Start up near the building and curve out or hook out towards that southwest corner. And then you'd have to back drag, the areas that you can't catch on your hooking. And you can't push it up on the edges, which you can't tell, but there's actually sidewalks there, so you can't. So that's why you would have to back drag it out. So you would, like I said, start near the building, start going toward that southwest corner, and then you're going to do a second row. It's what they call wind rowing. You've seen this before on the highways. There's usually multiple state plow trucks staged behind one another, 2 or 3 of them, and one would push their snow off to the next snowplow guy, and they would push it off to the next, or push it off into the median or the shoulder. So that's what you're going to do there to clear your properties. It's what's called wind rowing. You do have to watch when you wind row that you do not make piles next to the cars. So make sure your plow blade is turned away, so you're not dumping snow in there where they can't get out. All right, so you see the arrows here. This would be the directions I'd be pushing the snow. Again, I'm going to start on that west side of the lot, up close against the building, hooking out toward that southwest corner, have the blade angled to the passenger side, and then run it a row at a time, wind rowing the snow to the passenger side until that side is done. This can be done by backing up each time, or a lot of times I would circle the building if available, just to minimize backing, because people will whip in behind you. I don't know if it's accidentally or purposely. I know this because I backed into someone that did that to me. So once that west side is done, start on the north side of the property, and then I would push it to that far northeast corner if possible. So clean up. You see up there by the building, the arrows pointing to the west. That'd be the back dragging out, and then the up on the northeast corner there, you see I would try to hook it out if I could, or back drag it, if there's landscape behind there where you can't push it in. But if there is no landscape back there or obstacles in the way, you could push up up over that curb. So just remember, you don't want to push snow into landscaping or to push snow against trees or bushes, light poles, telephone boxes, or anything like that. So you see the number 2s that are there. Those are other areas that you could push into. Not ideal, but they do work. They're still out of the way, and they're not dumping in trouble areas. So push in all the corners, touch up as needed, do the entrances if you haven't done them yet. I usually wait till I'm done, just in case the state snowplow drivers come by and make a mess. This way, when I leave the property and I take my pictures of my work, everything looks good. So make sure you finish documenting, and you want time, weather, interesting facts, pictures, cars in the way, problem customers. Just make notes of everything, because you're not going to remember the next morning. And then go to the next property. This next property here, I have a satellite view of a Longhorn Steakhouse. When you arrive, same thing. Document your time, weather, take any pictures if needed. If there's any, if you see a damaged area, cars parked in dire places that that could hinder your work, just cover yourself. Again, always at least identify the entrances and address them if needed, but if possible, I usually skip and address the more important areas, which would be the handicap area on this west side, and then that frontage. You can see the places that I'd like to dump the snow with the number 1s. With this property, they're the furthest away from the entrances, and even that one on that southeast corner is angled away, so there is no issue with it melting and refreezing. You can't really tell by the satellite picture, but the whole southern parking space, there's a retaining wall here, probably 10 feet tall, and it will allow snow to drift up on it, especially during heavy snowfalls, and it makes it difficult to push it that full distance to the east because of the snow volume. When this happens, you'll have to push half of it to the east and half of it to the west. And like in this case, I push it up to that southwest corner, and I actually purposely take up all 3 parking spots just so no one can park there, mostly because it slopes away there, and then if someone did park there, they would definitely be increased in slipping. This is last resort, but sometimes it has to be done, and if it is done, you'll need to do some continuing maintenance to maybe keep pushing it back, or spot salting it, or putting ice melt on it. So this shows the direction I'm going to be pushing, and they're even numbered how I would do it. So I will push the number 1 route starting near the building down here, and then be windrowing to the passenger side down to here. But instead of backing this full distance, I would just head up and hit the second route. And then same thing, instead of backing that full distance, I would go this way and start the 3rd route. And then after that, I would circle back around and then do the 2nd row of the first one, and then again, 2nd, 3rd, and just keep doing that. Again, just so I'm not backing up that long distance. I mean, sometimes I'll do it, but a lot of times I don't, just for the risk of people pulling in. So I would repeat that until all 3 were done, and then I would spin around the other direction, and then actually back drag out the that southwest side, the handicaps, and then push everything to that northwest corner. I then clean up all the corners, hit the entrances, and just make sure you document everything. I also, if you're doing a restaurant in a big shopping center, I would include a clause in your contract stating the common area roads, in case they ever need plowed. At first, when the shopping center is built, the developers do a great job at managing those areas. But after all the shops are built and the developers are gone, none of the 20 businesses that's in that shopping center is interested in plowing that. So make sure you have a clause for that. And then something I've never needed, but I've always had a clause for hauling away snow, just in case we get an obscene amount of snow. I would just have something in there for that. So I hope this helps. Again, this isn't the only way to do it. And, maybe even each time I might do it different, but I would still have the general direction of what I'm trying to do. So thanks for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe.